Hello fellow Earthlings, welcome to my channel. My name's Callum Rykardt. This is my first YouTube video. I'm filming it on my birthday on January the 29th, 2024. I turned 41 today. I've wanted to make a booktube channel for a couple of years now, but I've been afraid to just dive in for fear of it not being good enough or well edited or well presented. I'm not particularly natural when it comes to talking on the camera, but I figure I'm never going to get any better unless I just start. So I appreciate you clicking on my little thumbnail. I'm just going to get straight into what I've read in the month of January. So here we go. Ship of Magic by Robin Hobb. This is the second book in the trilogy of the Live Ship Traders. A Game of You, which is book 5 in the series of Sandman graphic novels by Neil Gaiman and the accompanying artists. The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis, which is book 2 in the Chronicles of Narnia. This is the book I probably read the most fantasy-wise as a child, but I've never gotten around to actually reading the rest of the Chronicles of Narnia, so I finished The Magician's Nephew last year, and I figure I'll try and welly right through and complete the Chronicles of Narnia this year. It seems like one of these ones that, as a fantasy fan, I really should have read by now. I have also read, I'll put it on screen here somewhere, Stoneblind by Natalie Haynes. This is a Medusa reimagining and retelling, partially from the perspective of the Gorgons. And finally, I have started The Blade Itself by Joe Abercrombie. This will be a first read through for me. First time I've read Joe Abercrombie as well. He's Lord Grimdark, I believe, on things like Twitter. He's since gone back and said he's not too proud of that Twitter handle anymore. And I'm not calling it X, I don't care what anyone says. So yes, these are the books I've read. I'm just going to do a quick summary and thoughts of each of the 5 books in total. And yes, I count graphic novels as reading. Don't give me a hard time about it, please. So yeah, quick summary of Ship of Magic. I really enjoyed this book. I've given it 4.5 stars out of 5. I completed the Farseer trilogy last year, around about August time. I finished Assassin's Quest. I absolutely love Robin Hobb. I think she's probably my favourite author. I just love her characters so much. She also knows how to clearly depict a villain, so you know who you're going to love to hate, basically from page number 1. You know, she's considered the First Lady of Fantasy for a very good reason. Her writing is just excellent. Her character work is excellent. She gives you hundreds and hundreds of pages to enjoy. I don't mind that. I quite like a really long book where I can be drawn into it over many, many days because, newsflash, I'm not that fast a reader. It allows you to really get your teeth into the story and sit with them for a long period of time. Where I think this maybe has the advantage over Farseer is just the pace of the plot is maybe a little bit faster. People move to locations a bit quicker. But I don't think that detracts from the actual character work and the people I like. You're going to have villains in this that you love to hate. You're going to have protagonists that you really want to get behind and you want good things to happen for them. This was also a buddy read for me. Fellow Robin Hobb friends at my work, hello guys, we decided to read the first 3 together in the months of January, February and March this year. So I've read this, loved it very much. The Farseer trilogy just eked it for me in terms of overall enjoyment, but I'm very much looking forward to books 2 and 3. So next month is The Mad Ship, and the 3rd month will be, let me just check, I've forgotten. Ship of Destiny, there we go. As you can see, I've got excellent retention. Book 5 in the series of Sandman graphic novels, the initial run from the 80s and early 90s. This is A Game of You. I didn't enjoy this one as much as I've enjoyed previous entries. I've really liked books 1 to 4 very much, and I think that's because the character of Sandman himself, Morpheus, was more heavily featured. I felt a large absence of Morpheus from this particular run of comics. He does appear and he plays a part in the plot, but I didn't get a sense of his involvement as much as I have from the other ones. It was very middling for me in the end. I've given it 3 stars out of 5. I still liked it, but just not as much as the first 4 entries. But I'm going to try and read one of these a month until I complete the initial run of 10 graphic novels. There have been more since then. I think there's Overture, I think that's another one, and I think another couple. As for the initial 10, I'm going to try and get through these and finish it in 2024. The Chronicles of Narnia, book number 2, The Lion, Witch and the Wardrobe. Obviously the most popular and well-known of the 7 Narnia books. Yes, 7, had to check there. I read this many times as a kid. I saw different adaptations of it growing up. There was a very famous BBC adaptation in 1988. I think they did 4 of the initial stories. I think it might be Prince Caspian, Voyage of the Dawn Treader, and The Silver Chair. Don't quote me on that though, I would go to Wikipedia and double check that. I'm so well researched, can you tell? So yeah, I gave this 4 stars. It was very nostalgic for me. If you can push past the very heavy-handed Christian allegory, girls are daughters of Eve, boys are sons of Adam. Okay, we get it. Aslan is Jesus and he died for our sins. But that aside, if you can just enjoy the fantastical elements to the story, it is actually very good. It's quite fast paced, and overall, yeah, it was fun. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I'll finish the rest of the series this year, fingers crossed. Up on screen here, flashy flashy, Stone Blind by Natalie Haynes. I've also given this a 3 stars out of 5. I thought it was good. I liked some of the Medusa's point of view elements in the story. I thought that was very interesting. The reframing as many of the gods and goddesses as really trite and capricious and largely stupid people. Definitely Perseus. Natalie went right in on Perseus like he was a stupid teenage boy, which he really was in the end when you think about it. He wouldn't have been able to do any of this stuff, including the assassination of Medusa, if it wasn't for all the external help of the Olympian gods, let's be honest. And towards the end, it's a very interesting point of view from Medusa, and if you know the Greek tale initially, you'll probably understand what I'm getting at. But don't get ahead of yourself. So yeah, it was a good book, but I felt many of the characters had the same almost like nippy, snarky tone of voice going on. There seemed to be an impatience to most of the characters that I found a little bit too similar. Almost it was the authorial voice rather than characters' individual speaking tones of voice. So I struggled a little bit with that, so I couldn't love it as much as I would have hoped. But again, still very enjoyable. And lastly, I'll just briefly talk about one book that I've started in January, but I'm likely to finish next month, and that is The Blade Itself by Joe Abercrombie. I haven't read any Joe Abercrombie before, but I'm very much looking forward to it. I've read maybe about 15-20% of it so far. Very good, very violent to an almost comedic level, but I believe that's why he's called Lord Grimdark, and he's like, you know, the king of gritty, horrible, slimy, muddy fantasy. It is, however, very, very well written and really enjoyable, and, you know, Joe Abercrombie is actually quite a hottie as well, so, you know, why not? Yeah, so thank you for watching. That is everything I read in the month of January 2024. This is my first video. Please be kind. I don't quite know what I'm doing yet, but hope to pick it up over time and learn and improve. If you've stuck with me till the end, I would really appreciate it if you did all these call to action things that we're always encouraged to do, such as liking, subscribing, sharing. I couldn't think of a gesture for sharing. How does one share? Like, care for a peanut? I don't know, I'm going slightly delirious. This is about the 75th time I've filmed myself, and it's only now that I'm starting to not feel like a complete crazy person as I'm doing it. On camera, however, that might not be reading at this point. You might be thinking, who is this insane gay guy from Edinburgh? Well, it's me, okay? So just deal with it. So it's goodbye from me, and it's goodbye from Galadriel, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks very much for watching. Bye-bye. And lastly, what I'll talk about is just what I've started already for... And lastly, what I'll do is I'll...